I think over these past couple of weeks, we've just been really gelling on offense and defense. The chemistry looks really good, and right now we're averaging a lot more assists than we were, I'd say, early in the year when we weren't, getting wins. So yeah, I think we're just a lot closer. We're really tight knit right now.
When you take a look at Homestead, what they present, what are your biggest concerns with them, and what are some of the things you have to do well to counter some of their strengths on Friday?
Homestead's really physical, and they play really sound defense, and obviously they have a really good offense, and they're really well coached. So for us, it's just about limiting some unforced mistakes. I think against Northrop, we had a lot of unforced turnovers, lapses on defense. So it's just controlling what we can control, and then living with our good defense, and then making tough shots, and making them play through contact.
When you take a look at the SAC standings, I mean, you, Wayne, Homestead are all 6-1 at this point in the season, so it's going to come down to the final 2 weeks between three teams, and obviously this is almost, because of the head-to-head that you guys use in the SAC, this is like an elimination game. So approaching a game that can ultimately determine whether or not you win an SAC title, kind of what's the mentality of that, knowing the magnitude?
I think we just kind of treat it like any other game, but at the same time, you kind of treat it differently. It's hard to explain, but I think just keep a level head and be excited for it, and let it kind of motivate you. I've never been in their new gym, so it's exciting. There should be a big crowd, and just enjoy the environment, because you don't get to experience these kind of games very often.
Yeah, you mentioned the environment, the gym, and everything like that. It's going to be our highlights zone game of the week. There's a lot of eyeballs on this game. What are you most looking forward to about Friday night and that experience?
Yeah, I just think being there and being in that moment with the crowd and the noise. I think it's what every kid dreams of, and out of high school basketball. I think it'll be like one of those just classic Indiana high school basketball games.
Well, I think our defense has really stepped it up down the stretch. We've been playing a lot of good defensive games, and our offense as well. We had an 86-point game, which is really good, big for us down the stretch.
When you take a look at this week's preparation, what has Coach really been harping on, and what has been the focus in practice this week to prepare for what you're going to experience on Friday night?
Well, we got to play really physical. Homestead's a very physical team, very good at defense, very well coached. We got to answer when they strike at us, and we got to answer back with a punch.
Obviously, you played them last year in another, highly anticipated game. What do you carry over? What do you take away from that experience? Your personnel is relatively the same, while theirs has changed quite a bit.
Yeah, we got to stay consistent with our defense and offensive philosophies. We got to be very physical and play very hard. We can't take any team for granted. We got to play our best game.
For this coming Friday, you look at the SAC standings, 3 teams, 6-1. These are 2 of them. So this serves as somewhat of an elimination game, if you will, for the SAC title. Knowing that the magnitude of that, and I imagine winning a conference title is one of the goals for this team, how do you approach a game knowing that it could impact one of your ultimate goals for the season?
We still got to stay to our own defensive and offensive philosophy. We got to trust our teammates, trust our coaches. We got to be team players. We can't do our own thing. We got to stay to what we believe and do.
Final question, what are you most looking forward to about this Friday, man? I mean, it's going to be a big game. It's going to be a ton of people. It's the game of the week. What are you most looking forward to?
Yeah, the environment in that gym should be very electric and very exciting. So we got to make our runs. They'll make their runs, obviously, but we just got to. It's just going to be a very exciting game to play in and watch. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would say just a little bit of consistency. Being able to play hard defensively. Keep teams to a point where, okay, we can still be in games when it comes late. We've won some close ones. We've won some other ones that were a little bit easier to get done. But just a little bit of that, playing together and making sure we know what we want to do.
What's been the focus of practice this week to prepare for some of the challenges that Homestead presents on Friday night?
Yeah, Homestead obviously plays really hard. They guard the ball. Their defense is very solid. You got 2 6'7" kids inside, so that makes it a challenge offensively and defensively there. And then you got guards that can just flat out shoot it. And so again, they're going to be one of the more complete teams we've played, and we've played in many of those this year. And it's going to just be another one that we got to be able to guard 1 through 5 and handle things that way.
When you take a look at the SAC standings, you're 6-1, Wayne 6-1, Homestead 6-1. Because of the head-to-head, this serves as somewhat of an elimination game, if you will, for the SEC title. So how do you approach it knowing that I imagine winning an SEC title was one of the goals at the beginning of the season? this could impact that in a major way. How do you guys handle kind of the magnitude, I guess, of a game that could decide one of the goals that they've set for themselves?
Yeah, I mean, again, the conference was definitely a goal for us, and just to be in that position at this point. I mean, at some point it's going to be an elimination type game, but to actually have it there with 2 games left and be right there in the hunt at the top of the conference is a big task for the guys, and just proud of the work they put in this year.
Can you take away anything from last year's game against them? Because your personnel is more or less the same, although theirs is quite different without Lawyer and the other leaper kid.
Yeah, I mean, they, again, were very physical with us last year. They guarded us hard and, just made things difficult for us. And, last year we were, again, young and maybe a little bit weaker and inexperienced that way. And so hopefully just a year of maturity and physicality can help put us in a better position this year.
Final question for me: What are you most looking forward to? This is a game of the week. A lot of fans are going to be at this game. SAC championship type of atmosphere. What are you most looking forward to about Friday?
Yeah, I mean, just excited about the atmosphere. First time in Spartan Arena, so that'll be fun to get over there. First chance to really get a good crack at Homestead. They've kind of had our number over the last 10 years, and so just have an opportunity to go out on a Friday night and play hard and see what happens.